Good morning, YouTube. It is Thursday, February 22nd, 9:29 a.m. Central Standard Time. The NBA's back, guys. We made it through this long, dark break, and we are back, and we're ready to get going. We got a full, busy slate of games tonight. I almost always say 32 when it comes to the NBA. Obviously, 30. Do all 30 teams play tonight? Let us see. Doesn't look like all 30, but a lot of games, obviously headlined by the Mavericks and the Suns, which is on TNT, which should be an absolute banger of a game. Clippers Thunder is a banger of a game. Lakers Warriors a banger of a game, the way that those two teams have been playing lately. So this should be a lot of fun tonight. We're all happy. And it's it's been a long break. It's felt really long. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that's the case. Usually time just flies by. But this past week, it's just been so slow. Time goes by so slowly for those who... But I'm excited for these games to come back. We're going to spin today talking about... We're going to spin today talking about my top 100 player list. Yeah, LeBron's not playing in this game, which is a little interesting. Obviously, he played in the All-Star game, so if I were a Lakers fan, I wouldn't be very happy, to be totally honest with you. But okay, do your thing. Do whatever makes you happy, I guess. We got to walk on eggshells around LeBron. Can't piss him off in any way, shape, or form. So, but I'd be pissed off though. I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna be real. I would be very happy if I were a Lakers fan. But you can't piss him off though. Sadly, Adam Silver is slightly pushing the expansion talk, saying 32 teams. I mean, the league desperately needs expansion. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're focusing on today. I have my top 100 list is done. I was hoping to have it out during the All-Star break, but god damn it, it's just so hard. It's so hard. I don't know when it'll be coming out, but it'll be coming out somewhat soonish. So we're gonna look at a little primer to that. Guys who dropped off the list from the start of the season, some honorable mentions, some new additions. There's a lot of them. 25 new additions and 25 drop-offs. That feels like a lot, but it's just been one of those years, I guess. It's just been one of those years. Did you take a look at other lists to help some? No, not really. If there was like one player, like a player who I'm like, damn, is this guy really a top 100 player? I would take a peek around, and I think I have one or two guys that's just like nowhere to be found on other top 100 lists. But I kind of feel a little strongly that they are top 100 players. So outside of that, though, no, I didn't really look at any other lists. No slightly plagiarizing happening. A couple quick little things I want to talk about before we get into that, though. Jalen Brunson had an interview yesterday where he talked about how the Mavericks wanted to sign him or whatever the case may be. He wanted to re-sign with the Mavericks during the season, and they said no. I just have one question to ask Mavs fans in regard to this. Are we gonna fucking cry about this every single day? Like, is it? I just want to know the schedule. Is it every single day we're gonna cry about this, or is it every other day? Like, how? Just so I have it in my schedule. How many days are we gonna fucking cry about this? So, like, I just want to know, so I'm prepared to stay off Twitter. It's more than once a week. It's genuinely every other day. Genuinely every other day we cry about the Jalen Brunson stuff. Look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I hate harping on all this stuff. You guys know I hate talking about that Sun series. I hate bringing up the D-Book picture all the time. It's like, can we move the fuck on for all of these things? I don't mind talking about the Brunson thing every now and then just to contextualize the roster and why things have happened the way that they've happened. But like, damn, it's like literally every day. And then I still love Jalen Brunson. So anytime I talk about Jalen Brunson, removed from any of the Maverick stuff, just talk about Jalen Brunson, the player, it's always like tears and crying. It's just like, please, guys, please move on. Also, there was a tweet going around last night that I want to talk about really quickly here. The NBA is in trouble, wants 23, 30, and 35 right off to the sunset. Now, I personally despise when people use the fucking numbers for players. Just say who they are, okay? Especially 23. Like, do people refer to LeBron as 23? I almost never hear people refer to LeBron as 23. 30, okay, yeah, Steph. 35, am I maybe just not on the right side of NBA Twitter? I don't hardly ever see KD referred to as 35. Just say the player's name. Like, I hate this. Unless it's like a specific number that is, like calling Luka 77. Like, that's cool because Luka is 77. You know who 77 is. You say, 77 is going off tonight. You know who that is. You're like, man, 23 is going off tonight. I'm like, well, doesn't every single team in the league have a 23 besides like the Bulls and whatever other teams retired that number? So this is a thing that gets brought up all the time. I disagree with this. I really do. I disagree with this. One, KD, really? I mean, KD is great. The league will obviously miss him when he retires, but the league going to be in trouble when KD leaves? Like Kevin Durant? I really doubt it. I actually think that it like Kevin Durant's been so bad, I feel like, for NBA discourse, and it's not his fault, but it is kind of his fault for the Golden State Warriors thing and legacy and rings and this ring doesn't matter and this ring doesn't matter, but this was a real ring. That it might be good. It might be good that we can just move the fuck on. Steph's a huge mega face of the league, and so is LeBron, obviously. The league got so lucky with LeBron. Like, he's the perfect ambassador. He's the perfect face of the league. Incredible top, 2 player of all time. The longevity. 0 scandals. I mean, relatively speaking. The biggest LeBron scandal ever was the China thing, which wasn't even that big of a deal. But I don't think the NBA is in trouble. I think Victor Wembanyama is going to be a huge megastar. And I tweeted that out, and people were like, oh, well, he's not American. And that's true. There's never been like a non-American face of the league. But I think times are changing. The league is so global, and so many great players are international that you're going to have to do it. And I think Wemby is Americanized enough that he'll be fine. Luka, I don't think Luka can be one of the faces of the league. I mean, he is one of the faces of the league, but here's the reality, guys. It's an American league, and Luka's European, and he's like European. Now, he's pretty Americanized, right? And I think Luka is a really funny guy, but he doesn't really like doing interviews. He doesn't make himself available that often, which is completely fine. It's not a bad thing. But like, in order to be a huge face of the league, you have to be in front of cameras. You have to be willing to do interviews and all of the things the league wants you to do. And Luka, Jokic, I'm trying to think of some other guys. Trying to think of some other non-white guys to help really drive my point home, but I can't right now. No, Giannis does a lot of interviews and media stuff. So I think he's Kawhi. Kawhi's a good one too. You have to be willing to be out there, right? I think AD's a little bit more out there. AD had like a whole branding thing with the unibrow. Like, he's a little bit more out there, I think. But he's just not good enough consistently. Plus, the best player in the league, like the face of the league, has to, AD's averaging like 25 points a game, but his game is predicated on playing defense, and that'll just never sell as like a face of the league. Tatum is who the league wants it to be. See, I disagree there, because if that were the case, he already would be. You know, they're always good. They've been to the finals. They would already Tatum would already be the face of the league. But Tatum, I think Tatum is somewhat good enough, but he's just not very personable. Like that's just he just goes and takes care of business and handles things. Like nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, but it's just you need some swagger about you that I don't know if Tatum really has. Ja Morant, definitely. And I still think he's a possibility. Just going to take some time. Victor Wembanyama is going to be a mega star, a mega star. And so is Anthony Edwards. And I tweeted that, and people were like, Ant. I need you guys to understand, Ant's personality is built to be a face of the league. Now, has he said some dumb fucking shit? Yes. But I mean, he's already been in a pretty decently sized movie as like one of the not lead roles, but a pretty bigger role. He's funny. Again, he's online. Like he's willing to do media. He's willing to talk shit and have like interesting interviews. And he's also good. So I think that's why he's up there. So I don't think the league's in bad hands, man. The younger generation, it's all about the younger generation. Yeah, for somebody who's like in their mid-20s or 30s who grew up watching these guys, yeah, of course, dude. Of course you're going to fucking think this. Everyone thought this. Everyone thought this with Jordan. Some people thought it with Kobe. Like, it's people thought it originally with Magic and Bird. Like, somebody will step up. It's how it's always happened. And there was a little period after Jordan left, before LeBron and before Kobe really kind of became Kobe. But the talent in the league at that time was terrible. The talent in the league at that time was terrible. The talent this go around is incredible. So, like, guess what? The kids fucking love Ja Morant. They do. Like, I almost guarantee you, kids, like, if we're talking, I don't know, 12, 13-year-olds, like Ja Morant more than Kevin Durant. I promise you that. I almost guarantee you that. Just funny having Kevin Durant here. Like, really, KD? Come on. Yes, I am. Yes, there was so much hype about this slightly early stream that it caused the cellular towers to go out. I apologize for that. I'm on the phone. My assistant's on the phone with the United States president, and we're trying to figure some stuff out. All right, let's get into this top 100 list. Little primer. So I have finished it, but it's rough. I could be swayed. I could be swayed on some of these guys. This isn't the list itself. That's going to be in video form on the main channel. This is going to be a just players who dropped off, players who got added on, so on and so forth. So here are some drop-offs. Jabari Smith Jr. It'll be a video. Jabari Smith Jr. had him at 100th going into the season. Was a believer in his breakout, and he's had some nice moments here and there. It's not like he's been terrible, but he's not top 100. Jordan Poole, obviously. See ya. Lou Dort I think Lou Dort's going to end up being in my top 100. Does face the league mean shamelessly market the league, or can the media just gush over a player and make them the face? It's a mixture of both. It kind of has to be organic. It kind of has to be organic. I think Lou Dort does end up making my list. Jalen Green, kind of was a believer in him, and he's had some pretty impressive stretches over the course of the season, but ultimately he's off the list. Norman Powell, also really like his game, just the way it shaped out. That had to get 100 guys in here, and I think there's some players who have bigger roles than Norman Powell, that I should give them benefit of the doubt. Chris Paul's out because of injury, pretty much. I had like a 50% of games. You had to play 50% of games to be considered. Chris Paul did reach that, but he hasn't played in so long though that and he was kind of borderline. And I was like, all right, I'll just drop Chris Paul off. Okongwu's had some moments here and there, but ultimately I've been a little disappointed in his play this season. So he's off. Buddy Hield off, even though he's been fine. But again, 100 players. PJ Washington, I was a little bit surprised that I had him on the list. Like, whenever I was going back to look at my preseason list, I was a little surprised to see PJ Washington there. But okay, hey, I could have kept him on. But if we're just being totally honest, he's got to come off the top 100. I honestly couldn't believe that he was there. Bojan got eat it off. I guess I didn't realize that Bojan's having a good season, but it's not like the idea PJ was on the top 100 list. Yeah, it's not like he's been great. I mean, his shooting's still been fine. His defense is so fucking bad that the more I thought about him, I'm like, is he a top 100 player? Then that led me to think about the Knicks trading for him and like how everyone was like, oh my God, this is the biggest steal of all time. I started thinking about it more and I'm like, well, they got Quentin Grimes, who's kind of interesting. I think the real crime in all of that is the fact that they were apparently offered 2 first-round picks last year or whenever it was and said no. So that's the real crime. Clint Capella, been horrible this season. Jalen Duren, defensively, there's a lot of work. I'm still a big believer in him because when he has his like really, really strong games, I mean, they're pretty fucking impressive. We're talking like 2020 games, just before the All-Star break, he had a 27 and 22 game. So his good games are really, really good. But then he'll have games where it just feels like he's not really there. I'm hoping that, and he's also missed a decent chunk of time this season. I'm hoping that he is a mainstay on this list for years to come after this. But I kind of can't look past being a really bad defensive center. Trey Murphy missed a decent amount of time to start the season. And again, it's just, he's good, he's solid, but it's just he's got to come off. He's 36% from 3 as a guy who's like a sharpshooter, Kevon Looney obviously has been trash. Wendell Carter, bit of an honorable mention. Like I could see me squeezing Wendell back in. I missed a good chunk of time, then was really, really shaky. Was really shaky to start the season, and then was really shaky coming back from injury. And it was like Go starting, and then it was like, wait, are they going to trade Wendell Carter? Wait, what's the deal with Wendell Carter? But he's been playing better lately, though. But I just don't know if I can put him in the top 100. Al Horford has to come out. The next top 100 list will be after the playoffs, and it's very possible that Al Horford is, making it happen in the playoffs again. But he's just got to come out for the time being. And that's okay. Still a really good player. Marcus Smart injured. Otherwise, he'd be in there. Wiggins, I mean, still time to turn it around for Wiggins. Still time to turn it around. But obviously, there's just no way you could have Wiggins in the top 100 players list if we're just looking at this season. Or using this season for like the main source of information. Clay did have to drop out. Now it's difficult because Clay had a good stretch. I didn't want to let recency bias completely blind me. Because Clay had 35 coming off the bench against the Jazz, and 26 against the Jazz a few nights before that. So he's had some nice performances, but I can't let those things cloud my judgment. Okay? Ultimately, I don't think he's been a top 100 player this year. Yeah, Kessler's got to be on my list, I think. That's why I have the question marks here. Ayton drops off. Giddey drops off, obviously. And then these three guys right here. Again, I went with 50% of games. And neither of these three have played in half the games this season. Yeah, I fucking bought back into the Giddey hype like a dumbass. I've never bought into it, and then for some reason going into the season, I bought into it again. God, I'm such a dumbass. No, not a Bill Simmons disciple, because I didn't really like him that much. Like, I was always like, okay, well, yeah, the idea of him's cool. He throws some nice passes here and there, but okay. When's he gonna be like good? Right? Where like Bill Simmons and them think, oh yeah, he's just straight up good. And I'm like, hey, he's not really that good. But then I don't know what the fuck happened. It's not even like he was great in FIBA. Like, it's not even like he was balling out in FIBA. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, here are some few honorable mentions. I can be swayed into putting these guys on the list. Vince Williams Jr., I'm not gonna lie, I had on the list for quite a while. But one of the better perimeter defenders in the league has recently had like a huge playmaking surge as just like one of the only guys who could dribble a basketball in Memphis currently. Is Vince Williams Jr. better than Trey Murphy, though? Yeah, that's where you kind of have problems, right? So it's not like Trey Murphy's been balling out this year. Like, he's been good, but it's not like he's been going crazy, you know? Trey Murphy also barely qualified for this. Like, he's played in 30 games. Is this solely for the 23-24 season at this point? I wanted this season's play to be about 80%. 80% of the of 80% of what went into it, and then like maybe the other 20% if I was really, really stuck on a player or trying to like, you know, break a tie, maybe. Maybe. I think Lou Dort's going to end up in it, to be honest with you, by the end of it. Cam Johnson, just that Nets team is a mess. I think he would benefit greatly from just being on a better team and just being a guy who can be like a contributor on a team that's really trying to win. But a little disappointed from Cam Johnson. I mean, he's still shooting 40% from three, but Aaron Nesmith got kind of close. Aaron Nesmith got kind of close. Vince is great, but how many other players could be doing what he's doing given all the opportunity he's gotten? Yeah, that's a pretty good point. That's a pretty good point. I like Aaron Nesmith's game. I like his dog. He's got so much dog in him. Good defender. Been okay offensively so far. But honorable mention, like I don't think he really makes the list. KCP was 100th on like 3 consecutive lists for me, I think. And he's still been really good, but ultimately, you know, some other guys had to make it. Chris Paul, again, he's just missed so much time, and that was kind of it. Caris LeVert's been really, really good off the bench for the Cavs this year. I feel like Caris LeVert's a honorable mention every single time I do this. So, okay, RJ was an oversight. RJ's going to make the list. I'll tell you right now, RJ will 100% be on the list. He's been solid enough with the Raptors that I think he deserves a nod. And you're going to see in some new additions, there's some players I pigeonholed in there because I wanted to have in there that when push comes to shove, When push comes to shove, I think I'm gonna have to eat out. Why stop at 100? Just rank every player in the league. So those are my honorable mentions. Those are the players I'm a little torn about. I'm a little on the fence. What's RJ averaging with the Raptors? 20? 36% from deep? Hey now. 61% true shooting. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. New additions. 25 new additions. Some of these guys have been on the list before. Got off the list before the season, and now are back on. Good God, there's a lot of guys. Keegan Murray. Been really good defensively. Up and down offensively. A little inconsistent. Especially with his three-point shooting to start this season. But I almost feel like he kind of has to be in the top 100. I do like the step that he's taken defensively. Like if I were a Kings fan, even though the shooting has been a little bit wonky with Keegan Murray this year, I am very excited with his development defensively, and it makes me feel very good about who's giving me the snowflakes. What up, Connor? Brandon Miller is one that I pigeonholed in. Brandon Miller is one that I pigeonholed in. God damn it, I kind of just want him in there. He's kind of like an eye test top 100 player. Dylan Brooks has to be back in there. I think Brogdon does deserve to be in there. I know that it's been a little bit iffy, but this is also more of an eye test thing. I think Brogdon's a top 100 player. Like I just some of the honorable mentions I can't quite say I think are better than Malcolm Brogdon. Emmanuel Quickly. Zubats, I think, has to be in the top 100. So Zubats was one of the guys where I was looking around. I was like, do other places have him in the top 100? And no. But, damn, Zubats has been good this season. I think he's just like an incredible pick and roll partner with Harden. So I think Zubats had to be in there. Denny made it. Denny's a top 100 player in the league. And I'll just give you a quick little spoiler for the list. I have Denny over Kuzma. I have Denny as the best player on the Wizards. I need to go back. Is this a ranking on value given role or skill in a vacuum? I don't fucking know. I don't really know. It's just top 100 players. I'm thinking about the player and I'm like, okay, I think this player's better than that player. I would say I probably value skill in a vacuum. Like, I'd probably put a number one option on a team ahead of a really, really good role player. Yeah, just a combination of eye tests and stats. Anthony Simons, I need to go back. I have no idea how Anthony Simons missed my top 100 list going into the season. I would need to maybe listen to what I said about it, if I said anything at all. Terry Rozier, if I'm just looking at it at the total package, obviously Rozier's out right now with like a knee sprain. He's going to miss a couple weeks, but Rozier was really good to start the season with Charlotte, and is still trying to find his footing in Miami. Hasn't shot the three ball well there at all, but he was good enough on Charlotte that he's on the list. Jaden Ivey, this is an eye test one to me. I like Jaden Ivey, and I think he's a top 100 player in the league. I kind of want to be on the right side of history of that because I think we're kind of witnessing maybe not a breakout, but like, okay, Jaden Ivey is actually good. And also another spoiler, just right now, let me know what you guys think. I have Ivey ahead of Cade. Is that maybe too much? Cade's just really disappointed me this season. Like, he's been playing a little bit better lately. I don't know, guys. Cade's like decision making and stuff is very concerning to me at times. Like, very concerning for somebody who's the whole shtick with him was he could be like, oh, he could be like a Luka. I'm telling you guys, man. I've watched a decent amount of Pistons games. There's times where I've left thinking that Ivey is better. We'll see. They're both really close to each other, so it's not like it really matters. Jalen Suggs been incredible. I think he has to get a nod. Just a really, really great glue guy. Bogdan, how just not gonna overlook Bogdan and his contributions. Just consistently one of the better guys off the bench in the entire league. I like his game. Kind of surprised they didn't trade him. But are we really surprised with anything Atlanta does at this point? All right, Max Strus. So Max Strus to me was an eye test guy, but believe it or not, the on-off numbers with him are fucking nuts. But the reason why I say eye test guy, when you watch the Cavs, Max Strus just does a billion things for them. He just does a billion things. And maybe it's a little out there to have Max Strus on a top 100 players list. His shooting numbers, he's shooting 33% from three. Like, for a guy who's like considered a three-point shooter, he just doesn't hit them. But he shoots them. He shoots them coming off screens, movement threes, and defenses have to account for that. And he just does a million different things for them. I actually really like his game. He has some playmaking chops. I actually do think he deserves to be on this list. Miami doesn't miss anybody because they just churn out guys. D'Angelo Russell has to be on this list. I yeeted him off the list because of his dog shit performance in the playoffs last year. And that could, we could have the same conversation a couple months from now. But for the time being, D'Lo has to be on this list. Just simply has to be. Yeah, next list. It's very possible. Nurkic, we've talked a lot of shit about Nurkic, but you know what? He's been healthy and he's been good for them. So I think he deserves to be on this list as well. Yeah, no, I mean, they might be tricking for sure. I mean, come playoff time, how many minutes does Nurkic get? I'm not entirely sure. But you know what? He's been healthy. He's been playing, and he's been pretty damn good for them. So, Jonathan Kuminga. Somebody asked if I had Jonathan Kuminga on my list. I do have Jonathan Kuminga on my list. About Trey Murphy and Jonathan Kuminga, Kuminga definitely has more upside. Oh, wait. No. Naz Reid is on this list. I must have overlooked him. Naz Reid is on this list. Naz Reid is in the top 100. Kuminga has more upside, I think, than Trey Murphy. Kind of depends on what you need, though. If you need like somebody who could space the floor and stuff, Trey Murphy would be the guy you pick. Derek Lively is on the list. I don't give a fuck. He's here, okay? He's here. I think he's better than all of the centers we've just talked about right now. So, do with that information what you will. Tobias Harris, I'm a little bit surprised I had Tobias Harris off my list, considering my undying support of Tobias Harris over the years and in my defense of him. But he is on the list. Donte DiVincenzo has to be here. I mean, he's been fucking hooping. And especially, there's definitely some recency bias here because when all of the players on the Knicks were hurt and Donte DiVincenzo was shooting 17 threes a game. And damn near single-handedly beat the Dallas Mavericks. But he's got to be here. He's been balling out. Herb Jones, got to be here. A little bit surprised he wasn't on the list last year. Trying to think about what the reasoning for that would have been, but he's here now. Jalen Johnson has to be here. Real nice step in the right direction for him. Definitely more of an eye test player, because whenever I was doing this, I look at some stats here and there, and stats are just not very friendly to him. But just watching the games, it's kind of clear that he's taking a big step for the Hawks. Isaiah Hartenstein has to be on this list. I don't know how you could do a top 100 players list, focus on this year, and not have Isaiah Hartenstein in the top 100. He has to be there. He just does. Believe it or not, he has the best defensive estimated plus minus in the league. Like by that advanced metric, which a lot of smart people say is the best one, has Isaiah Hartenstein as the best defensive player in the league this year. So do with that information what you will, I guess. Are we sure Hartenstein is better than Mitch Robinson? Isn't better than Mitch Robinson? They're both pretty fucking good. Kobe White, obviously, big breakout for him. He's got to be in the top 100. Colin Sexton has to be in the top 100. He's been incredible. And yes, I did not have Alperen Sengun in my top 100, I guess. So if we just go look at the dropouts, I had Jabari Smith Jr. and Jalen Green in my top 100. But no Alperen Sengun. Not entirely sure what the reasoning for that was. But that's a miss. I will say, going back and looking at my preseason list, I think 100 through like 60 is a crapshoot. Yeah, 100 through 60 is a crapshoot. My top 50 was pretty damn good. Because the preseason one is more of a... The preseason one is more of a predictor. Like, where do we think these players are going to be at the end of the season? And I'm not going to lie. I ate. God, my cat is up to no good. Oh, God, he is up to no good over there. Shit. Oh, I'm in for it. I'm in for it when the stream ends. But hey, my best prediction, right? Preseason list. Where do we think guys are going to finish by the end of the season? I had Shea 5th. And I remember. I remember. You guys gave me a lot of shit for that. I got a lot of shit for that. I stood on business. And he is 5th in my list. The top 10 was actually kind of hard after the top 5. The top 5, I think, is just as easy as it gets. The list within the top 5, difficult to sort of order those guys. And then the 6 through like 12 is a shit show, I think, personally. Embiid did get a slight injury drop, but he's still in the top 5. I could not have him in the top 5. I had him 10th. I had Embiid 10th going into the season. That's how disgusted I was with his playoff performance. 10th. No, I have Kevin Durant in my top 10. I think Kevin Durant's been slightly better than Booker this year. Those two have interchanged all the time with me. I have KD in my top 10. I have Book just on the outside. Yeah, there are like 15 guys with a top 10 argument. And I don't have Tatum in my top 10, which I feel a little shitty about, to be completely honest. I think it's a little unfair to him. But I look at the guys above him, and I'm just like, well, has Tatum been better than Kawhi? No. Has Tatum been better than KD? No. Donovan Mitchell even? I think Donovan Mitchell's been better this year. Steph? No. AD? Well, AD's pretty much been a defensive player of the year level guy, so no. Devin Booker? No, I don't think so. Derek White. I'm trying to think if I have any like weirdly out there and unpopular ones. So I'll say it right now. I have Kyrie in my top 20. Just I'm looking at the players. There's no way Kyrie's not in the top 20. The big one I'm struggling with, James Harden or Kyrie. I have them right next to each other. Who's better? Because James Harden came to Clippers land and they've been damn near unbeatable because he's been just like the engine of their offense and it's been incredible. I don't like Tatum, but man, you're tripping. Am I though? Like what was I just wrong about? Who ahead of Tatum I just listed? And this isn't even on some hater shit. Like I'm genuinely. Dude, Donovan Mitchell's been so fucking good this season. Like so incredibly good. I don't know. At the end of the day, like some of these guys are so close together, like it doesn't really matter. Love Kyrie, but Harden has been organizing their entire offense masterfully. Yeah, so I do have Harden ahead of Kyrie, but by one spot. Planting my flag on being incredibly low on Damian Lillard. I have Jaylen Brown as the second best Celtic, with KP not too far off. Could definitely see an argument. Sabonis got a little bit of a bump. I'm not gonna lie to you. I couldn't deny it. I still have Fox better though. Twitter notification? Lots of G League signings. G League. Lots of G League sightings. So Victor Wembanyama is in my top 30. Yes. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to inch him up higher. I was looking at this last night and was like, okay, who can I put Vic ahead of? No, not top 20, unfortunately. Not top 20. So the one player I think that I'm really, really high on is Jalen Williams, and I'll let you guys just guess where he's at. Yeah, these are drop-offs, guys. If you're looking at this list right now, these are drop-offs from our last list. So these guys are not on the list. Because yes, Capella being high would be. Nobody is right. It's higher than every guess so far. No, not in the top 10. Or not in the top 20. You're gonna have to tune in. Not spoiling the entire list. Jared Allen was kind of a hard ranking for me. I don't know when it's going to drop, honestly. It's definitely not dropping today. He's not top 25 right now. I don't know, man. J-Dub is pretty fucking good. Allen over Mobley. He has to be this year, right? I mean, Mobley's missed so much time. So I do have Allen over Mobley. Like, Mobley and DeJounte were hard. Or not DeJounte. Darius Garland were hard because they've just missed so much time. And Jared Allen's just been better. Mobley's been pretty damn good since coming back, though. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. It gets really hard in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s because there's been a lot of like letdowns and a lot of really good performances where it's like, Jaw's not on this list because he's played 9 games this season. Like Deni Avdija. There's players I have ranked ahead of Deni Avdija that I think Deni's just better than right now. But it's difficult for me to rank him higher than them, if that makes sense. whenever you lay out a top 100, Josh Green just cannot be in it. Like, whenever you just sit down and do a top 100 and you're listing the players and it's like, oh, Dylan Brooks is 97th. Naz Reid's 98th. It's like, can you in good faith put Josh Green in there? I think I drew just outside the top 50. I drew just outside the top 50. Now, Paolo's way higher than 67th. Chet's decently high. Chet was kind of a hard one, too. The Warriors franchise valuation: 2009 Curry's rookie year, $315 million. 2024, $8.2 billion. That's kind of crazy. What up, Kevin Durant? Good luck tonight, buddy. I don't have Steph in the top 5. I think my top 5 is like pretty hard to beat. Well, regardless of the order, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, Shea, like. I have a hard time. I have a hard time fitting anyone else in the top 5. There's no way Steph has been playing better than those guys this season. He hasn't. Okay? I know what Steph has done. I know who Steph has been in his career. Guess what, Grandpa? It's 2024 now. Those guys are just fucking better. Guess what? Steph has his garbage roster. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And you want to know something? I have Steph 9th. You want to know where I have Steph? 9th. And hey, that was me being generous. When my very first edition of this list, he was 11th. And I was like, this can't be. I was like, this cannot be. Steph has to be the top 10. Unbelievable. Where you got Fox at? He's there. That's all you need to know.